Tony Bonne is the Whakatane Mayor, an area which includes Edgecumbe and its surrounds. I asked him whether he should have been told earlier that there was an increasing risk the banks may indeed burst.
I was in our emergency operations centre at 5:30 that morning, really concerned about the hinterland of our district, and of course we were getting reports in, and yes, I did go home about 7 o'clock thinking we'd got through the worst of it. It stopped raining, and looking out, and we thought, right, we've got through it. There were some concerns which maybe hadn't been passed on to me as strongly as they could be. I was unaware of the stress on that wall at Edgecumbe, and of course I got the phone call at 8:15 to say she's all on. It's gone to custard.
Had anyone told you that it was leaking, that it was roughly a foot, forgive me for using pre-metric, from the top, and there was very real stress on the stop banks?
They hadn't informed me, but I understand we had a councillor out there for most of the evening, one of our rural councillors. He was at the scene when it actually collapsed. He had phoned into our chief executive and told him things weren't too good. And then of course we were talking to the regional council because it's their asset and they're looking after the flood wall, and so we had to go on what we were being told.
Right, what time was that phone call made where your chief executive was told it wasn't looking very good?
I'm pretty sure, and he made a call about 8 o'clock that there should be self-evacuation because things weren't looking too good. But
okay, because we've heard, forgive me for interrupting, but we've heard from local residents who say they were there from 5 a.m. There were fire service personnel, civil defence personnel and council personnel. The stop bank was leaking, the pressure on it was obviously immense, and the waters were rising to very near the top.
I think you're correct there, and the council people would have been regional council people. John, what really is of concern to me, and we had at a public meeting, a fire service volunteer got up and he was saying that local knowledge, they had phoned through about 6:30 saying there was a major problem here. Somehow that message hasn't got through, but can I say that we've got an inquiry now. The regional council has set up this independent inquiry, which we support 100%. And all those things will come out in that inquiry.
Absolutely. The issue is people were endangered by these floodwaters. Property that could have been removed wasn't removed. People were at risk, and there does seem to be a real sense that had somebody there had your phone number and the ability to communicate explicitly the risk, there could have been a real advance warning given that the banks were about to burst as early perhaps as 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm unaware of that. So I'd love to say that was true, because it would have been great to be able to get people out before the event. Our emergency operations centre really only knew the seriousness of the situation around 8 o'clock in the morning, and of course by the time we said evacuate, the wall fell over.
Who was there for them? Who was phoning into your emergency operations centre from the scene?
The Regional Council flood operations have got a flood room at the Regional Council, but they had staff, at that stage they had staff in our emergency operations centre with constant communication on the whole system. Remember, this is an event that is out of the ordinary. It was 30% above the capacity of the design of the stop banks. So not only was there major pressure at Edgecumbe, but there was also major pressure on the Whakatane system.
Absolutely.
And Whakatane had a small breach, it overlapped, and that went to Porapora, which was on the other side of the river. So we were under extreme pressure at that point. So both rivers, Whakatane and Rangatike, highest on record. So this is a weather bomb that hasn't been around for a long time, as they say, 500 years.
No, absolutely. But did you have someone did the council have someone on the stop banks phoning in and saying this is looking really serious? Because local residents say fire service was there, civil defence was there, some kind of council worker was there. They knew that the problem was becoming serious. The levels were high, the bank was leaking, it looked like it wasn't going to hold, and no one where it mattered was being told this.
Yeah, and maybe there was most probably a council member. When we say council, and I know the public see council as one, and I'd like to think it is one, but we do have a regional council and a local district council. So when we say council member, I believe that is a regional council member, staff. I know they were there. They were there with some machinery because they obviously knew how serious it was, but they obviously thought they would be able to bolster it up and stop it from breaching. So, but that information may have lacked. We don't know. We're going to find that out in the inquiry.
In the meantime, Cyclone Cook, or whatever manifestation of it is going to reach the Bay of Plenty, is heading your way with more heavy rain forecast. How confident are you that the rebuilt bank can hold?
I am pretty confident the rebuilt bank will hold, but we're not. It depends on this new weather front that's coming through is a different one. It's a coastal one. It's coming off the sea, so we're going to have a huge amount of rain on the coast. Now, the damage from this last event was rain in the hills. So what we're going to have this time is our stormwater systems will be maxed out to their maximum, and we will be making some very strong advisory notices to our community tomorrow morning as soon as we've looked at the latest weather forecast, and I'm shortly we'll be briefing all our councillors about what is coming. We're taking this very seriously, and we can guarantee our public, if all I tell them is to look, please tomorrow, look at the council Facebook if you're on Facebook, look at our website, listen to our local radio station, because we will be wanting to communicate with you on what we feel will be the best thing for you to do tomorrow.
Whakatane Mayor Tony Bonne talking to us a short time ago.